everyone, it's Rachel from Sweet and Simple Home. I've so been looking forward to making this video, so thank you so much for being here. Today I want to share with you my cozy book list for fall reading. And October is reading month. I just feel like it is the best time of year to curl up with a book. So I have books in front of me that I've started reading, books that I hope to read, and if we have time, I'll share with you some books that I've recently finished. So grab your favorite cozy beverage, get comfy, and we will have a fun little fall book chat. So this first book I want to share with you is a book that I picked as part of this autumnal reading challenge that another YouTuber created. I'll link to her video in case you want to join in, because I think these little challenges are super fun. But one of her categories was a book with orange on the front, and this has this big orange 7. So this is one I picked up at Goodwill. I think it was in the summer for just like around $1, which is a great price for a hardback. But it's 7 Women and the Secret of Their Greatness by Eric Metaxas. I'm about halfway through. I'm on Corrie ten Boom's story, and I had to pause last night because her story is so moving. It's, you know, she's the one who's connected to The Hiding Place. And I've read that book several times, seen both film adaptations. I love her story and it moves me. So I had to pause last night. If you like biographies, this is nice because you're getting a really good picture about 7 people in one book. And he has a 7 men as well. And he's a really good biographer. I'm enjoying it. This book is in continuation of a series that I've talked to you guys about. It's called the Gilead series, and it's by Marilynne Robinson. And this is the book Jack. I had hoped to read this summer and I didn't get to it. So it is near the top of my autumn pile because I love this series. It is very cozy. It's set in Iowa and it's multi-generational, and there are tensions within this family. There's family dynamics that are so heartbreaking, and issues with faith and loss and trust and restoration and all kinds of things like that are just so relatable and so real. And this author's writing style, Marilynne Robinson, is just so beautiful. Like, I just feel like I'm very comfortable within the space that she's creating for the reader, and so I enjoy her style. And I'm really looking forward to reading more in this series. This next book is one I picked again for that autumnal reading challenge. I don't know if this is autumnal per se, but one of the titles that you're supposed to fit within this challenge is something about water or fire, and this one, being a sinking city, is about water. So this is one my daughter wanted me to read. It's by Christine Cohen. And I've heard good things from other people about it. I think it's supposed to be YA. I don't think it's middle grade. I think it's more YA. But I enjoy a good YA, so I'm looking forward to reading that. James Herriot. You guys saw me haul this recently in a Goodwill haul, and I was really excited to find it because I finally had gotten it from the library the day before I found this at Goodwill. So I paid like $1.60 something for it. And I love this cover. I have the vintage ones of the other books in this series, but I didn't have the first one, which is All Creatures Great and Small. So I'm really excited to read it. And this dog on the cover looks just like the dog I had as a child, and his name was Ruggles. So it's a very nostalgic cover for me, but I love everything James Herriot. I love the Children's Treasury. I love the show. I love the books, and yeah, a wonderful, wonderful man, great sense of humor, and definitely a big heart. All right, this one I have started. I meant to read this summer as well, but once I started it, I realized this was probably better for the autumn. It starts out in a school, like back to school time, so I thought this would be a good one to read. And I know that October in the Booktube world is considered Victober, like Victorian reading time, where you read Victorian authors, and Charles Dickens is a Victorian author, so I thought this would fit the Victober category of reading. And yeah, I'm excited to read it. I've heard mixed things about this novel, that it's not his best, so I'm looking forward to knowing what I think about it, because everything that I've read so far of his, and I've read a few of his books this year, I've just been so moved and just grateful that I was able to finish them. So yeah, we'll see what I think about that one. But that one's sort of like going to cover the atmospheric category for me. This one was another one my daughter asked me to read. She's got her little bookmark on here for me. It's Howl's Moving Castle. Are you guys familiar with Studio Ghibli? I always said Ghibli, but I've been corrected that it's Ghibli. Howl's Moving Castle is my daughter's favorite Studio Ghibli movie. And she said the book is worth reading, so she recommended that I read it, and I put it in my pile. We'll see if I get to it or not, but when my kids want me to read something, I try to prioritize it. This is one that I just finished, but it's here in the middle of my pile, so I'm going to talk about it. This is Kristen Lavransdatter, The Wreath by Sigrid Undset. And this is one that I read for a book club that I'm part of, and we're going to get together and chat about it. But I've marked a few spots. This book definitely grabs you. It's set in the medieval times, but in a very relatable way. This girl, Kristen, she starts out just like an innocent young person and starts making choices that like really like slowly like take her down into the depths of like loss and just really gross sin. And so it ends at a spot where I'm just like, oh my goodness, you can't end there, but it's part of a trilogy. And so I'm thinking I'll pick up the next one in the winter. That was what my friend recommended I do, that I wait till winter to pick up the next one. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to wait because I want to know what happens. I want to know, is there redemption for this girl who's just in this terrible place and, I don't know, made bad choices. So anyway, it was really good, and I'm excited to talk to my friends at book club about it and see what they took away from it. And this one was added literally just a couple days ago. I went to the library with my son. Sorry, this has got one of those like plasticky covers, so it's a little bit glary. But this is the Beatrice Prophecy by Kate DiCamillo, and it's illustrated by Sophie Blackall. Sophie Blackall is one of my favorite children's book illustrators. She did The Lighthouse and The Farmhouse and the Winnie the Pooh book, The True Story of Winnie. And so I'm excited about this. She has such sweetness in her illustrations that I'm drawn to them. And I love Kate DiCamillo's stuff. She did The Tale of Despero and I'm blanking, the Percy Watson series, all kinds of great stuff for kids. This one is a medieval story, and my class that I'm teaching, we're studying medieval history together. So I thought I would pre-read it, and if it's good, I can either use it in my classroom or recommend it to parents to read at home. So this is something that I'm reading for work, but also for fun. This one I had every intention of reading in September. It's H.G. Wells' The Time Machine, because in September the idea is that you read through a bunch of short stories, and I had this on my list and didn't get to it. So I think I can get through this probably in an afternoon, if I have an afternoon to spare. Who does these days, right? I am finding that H.G. Wells is an author that I enjoy. And I know that that might be controversial because he has some pretty out there ideas. But what I like about his writing style is it makes you feel like all of a sudden something fantastical could happen to you. Like I read The Sea Lady this summer, and it was like all of a sudden there was a mermaid swimming in the ocean, and you're like, oh, there's a mermaid here. And she comes out, and you just feel like, oh, I could just walk outside and there's aliens like War of the Worlds. And then this one with The Time Machine, I am very curious. So I've enjoyed what I've read of his this year, and I like that they're short, so you can kind of like cross it off and have a finished book pretty quickly. Okay, this is one of the bigger ones that I'm hoping to get to this month. This is Tess of the Duberville, I think is how you pronounce it, by Thomas Hardy. And I've read a few Thomas Hardy's this year as well. Before this year, when I gave myself this big reading challenge, I hadn't read any of his stuff, and now I've read 2, 3 of his books. I'd have to look at my notes. And I think that this image especially makes me think of fall, so I think this one will work really well for this season and give me all those cozy vibes I'm looking for. I had a picture book of Beowulf that I read to my class, and they absolutely loved it. And this one is illustrated. It's just more of a chapter book for sure. And it has like photography of actual historical items that connect to the story. It's my husband's favorite edition of Beowulf, and in fact it has all of his notes in it, so I feel like I can learn a lot from what he has learned, which is nice. So yeah, I love the way this book feels in the hand too. This is lovely. So this one's translated by Seamus Heaney. The last one, which I kind of know I probably won't get to till November, but that's okay, I thought I'd include it in this video nonetheless, is At the Back of the North Wind by George MacDonald. And look at this beautiful copy. This is gorgeous. My mom bought this for us, and along with the Princess and the Goblin and the Princess and Curdie, which we've read, but we have not read this one. And I kind of want to see if my family would be up for having this be a read aloud, for a family read aloud. I don't know, my kids are getting older, but we still do enjoy reading together sometimes, so we'll see. That might be wishful thinking. If not, I hope to get to it end of October, early November. I wanted to tell you at least about one book that I recently finished, and that is Dracula by Bram Stoker. So this is a classic, and it's a classic for a reason. And I wanted to know what I thought about this book outside of Hollywood's idea of who Dracula is. And I will say that I liked the book so much better than any representation I have ever seen of Dracula. I'm not one who really loves horror or gore or super scary things, but I love good stories. And I love good stories where the evil is really evil and the good is really good. Like, those are my favorite kind of stories. And this was one of those stories, and which really surprised me. I loved the ending, and there were times when I was legitimately grossed out by Dracula's behavior, but the author sort of wants the reader to go that direction. The way that they've presented the information and the way that they are telling the story is, you're supposed to be repulsed by this wickedness, and you're supposed to be encouraged by the goodness that rises up out of it. And my favorite character, Mina, was so inspiring to me because she was educated, she was well-spoken, she was an incredible support to the people who are trying to solve this Dracula issue, even though she herself had to pay a bit of a price. I was just really inspired and encouraged as a woman by her as a character. So I will say a little bit of a trigger warning is that there is the blood, and there is the sucking of the blood, and attacking innocent people. And so if that's something you feel is a bit of a trigger right now, maybe wait, until you think you could handle it to read it. I know I definitely waited to read it myself, but I liked it. I was pleasantly surprised and thought I would pass on that info to you all. Okay, so that wraps up my cozy fall book reading list. So I'm going to call this, instead of my TBR, I'm going to call this my giant pile of possibilities. I pick books sort of by what I'm in the mood for, so sometimes I don't even actually get to this pile, and some other book will be recommended, or I'll come across it at the library and put it on top of the pile. So I'm not strict about the pile, but it is just so inspiring to see this stacked up next to my bed and think, ooh, I can't wait to get to that book. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Please let me know your thoughts on any of these books I've shared, any of your recommendations for fall reading, any books that you've read recently that you have loved or hated. I don't mind hearing either of those thoughts. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Take care, happy reading, and I'll be back with more soon. Bye.